middle.
Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, everybody, we've got a great show for you. This is episode number 860. And what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on some of the fun business terms that I use on a pretty much daily basis. I want to welcome you to the show. I want to remind you that we're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. I want to thank our sponsors, Warren Henry Automotive. Warren Henry Automotive, here can be our first term. Warren Henry Automotive has allowed me to be their brand ambassador for 16 years now. Oh, and I gave it away without talking about what we're going to talk about on episode 860. We're going to talk about some of my favorite business sayings. So brand ambassador, that's a favorite one. I love that one. So thanks to Warren Henry for allowing me to be their brand ambassador for many, many years. Thank you to Eric, Larry, Ismet, Warren, the whole team of Warren Henry. Always treat me like family. They'll treat you like family too. Stick with us. We'll talk a little bit more about Warren Henry later on in the show. So look for us on all those social platforms at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on with the show. So today's show is about some of the more fun business terms that I like to use. I'm going to start off with something that makes everybody smile. I'm going to talk about urban hunter-gatherer. My retail friends, they love that term because that's the term that I give to the folks that do shopping, that go from place to place to place. We all know somebody that starts at Publix, goes to Whole Foods, then to Fresh Market, and ends up at Trader Joe's. And in the middle, they'll stop at some specialty store that has no name for their candles or their scents or something. And so the urban hunter-gatherer puts that all together. And in an urban and dense neighborhood like the one I live in, the urban hunter-gatherer, you can see that person all the time. Now, what do you call the neighborhood that I live in? It's a vertically integrated neighborhood. What does that mean? That means I got everything right here. I don't ever need to get in a car. Need the office? Walk. Need the podcast studio? Walk. Need Publix? Walk. Whole Foods? Walk. Synagogue? Walk. Of course, pool, gym, walk. So the vertically integrated neighborhood, schools, walk. It's I think that anytime you can start saying walk, it's not something you're really trying to do a Charlie Brown teacher imitation with. You're really trying to talk about the neighborhood I live in, which is a vertically integrated neighborhood. I've lived in Edgewater and Wynwood for quite some time. Also lived in Coconut Grove, both fabulous vertically integrated neighborhoods. And driving between these vertically integrated neighborhoods in South Florida, they are actually all becoming what I also like to refer to as city states. You can do everything in these areas, and soon they're going to start having gates, I think, in front of each one where you're going to have to pay a toll to bring your car in. Not such a bad idea. I think they might try that in a place like London, Mr. Podcast Studios. I know they do that. I threw that out to you. I know they do that. New York, they're trying to do it. I think they got pushed back. They're doing it in New York too? Oh, well. Well, that's wild. Now, there's something that's really important for business that's not that easy to get, but it's something that I use every day in my business, and that's legitimate credibility. You go, what is that? That's really what I built up over 35 years to give a call when I have a client that needs to raise money or sell their project or get some access to something. I can usually reach out to the right person in one phone call and get them to call me back within 24 business hours. Why? Because I have legitimate credibility. That's something that you earn over time. It's not something that you're given. And it's something that, I get because I have something else that actually was told to me by a person when I was in college. And that's that I have a contingent behavior pattern. You go, what's that? I treat each person individually and differently. Each person has their own hot buttons, their own things that are important to them. I look the person in the eye and I talk to them and connect with them right there. And I do that by having a different behavior pattern with each one of them. And that behavior pattern is contingent on them. And it's therefore what I like to refer to as a contingent behavior pattern. Now, whenever I send a deal to an investor or a lender and they are on a team, they always go about socializing the deal. I got that out of Wall Street. The Wall Street guys love talking to me about how they got to socialize their deal. And usually what's going on there is that they're having deal conflation. That happened to me on Friday. I couldn't remember, I had bits and pieces of each deal floating around in my head. They all came together and conflated. And I started just talking about one deal, even though there were a bunch of different deals. I needed to take a step away, start fresh, push the reset button, and start from scratch. Now, one of the things I've been doing with one of my family offices is we've been doing what we like to refer to as sponsor enhancement. What is that? Well, sometimes we'll bring a signature, a guarantee to the table. Sometimes we'll bring equity to the table. Sometimes we'll bring additional experience in the vertical that they're looking at. Maybe an apartment developer wants to do condo, a condo developer wants to do apartments, a retail developer, God forbid, that wants to do condo and apartments. It goes on and on. But we have the ability to enhance that sponsor's team by bringing them the talent, the resume, and the cash to help them get their deal across the finish line. How do I make sure that everybody's going to get together? Well, I make sure that they have value system alignment. It works for you in your marriage. If you and your spouse don't have the same value system, it's not staying together very long, that the relationship, and neither is your joint venture or your lending relationship. A number of times I have one of these big institutional lenders wants to reach out to one of the local high profile developers. They can't get them on the phone, or if they do, they can't get the attention that they want. They call me and they ask me to get together and warm up the circumstance. I'll call the developer or sponsor. I'll go, so-and-so asked me to call you. They go, we know you. We know them. I go, yeah, and they know you. Have you ever closed a deal with them? They'll go, no. I'll go, I have. And people always like to do deals with people they've closed with, or people they like, or people that know their idiosyncrasies in their organization. And when you have value system alignment, they'll call you and ask you, what is the other person like? And if you would get along, and if the answer is yes, you put them in touch. And that's how I make a living in today's world. And when I'm working on a transaction, a lot of times people don't call back for a while. Deal goes stale, bad thing. And the most important thing once a deal gets submitted is the deal cadence, or the deal tempo, the pattern and the rhythm that things are happening. You want somebody to call you back and give you a fast answer. Well, you better respond to them as soon as they call you. And these are the kinds of things that can slow a deal down, or break a deal down, or stop a deal entirely. If somebody doesn't think that you care about what they've been telling you because you haven't been calling them back, that's a problem. And the worst thing that you can do in business, other than, of course, telling a really bad lie, a bald-faced lie, is to go dark, is to not answer somebody's phone call, to not respond. I'm the human breaker down of the non-response. Call me if you're having trouble getting somebody on the phone. I know how to do it. So we're going to be right back with the bottom line. We're going to talk about Warren Henry a little bit, and we're going to come back with the bottom line. So stick with us, because there is one more term, one more thing that I think is actually the key to everything in business. Stick with us around this quick sponsor break for Warren Henry, and I'll tell you what the real secret to business really is. Miami Podcast Studio, it's your turn to shine. All right, everybody, I want to remind everybody our sponsors for 16 plus years are our friends at Warren Henry. And whenever you're looking to buy a lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to reach out to Warren Henry. They are very responsive. They always work with me, my clients, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, my family, my friends. Last week's show, we had one of our guests on, and they got a couple of calls that people wanted the phone number of Vismit Yagzi, the sales manager of Warren Henry. So I think we sold a couple of cars last week. Why do we do that? Because we believe in our friends at Warren Henry. They've treated me and my family like gold for many, many years. And when I met Larry Zinn, he's now the executive general manager, the owner. I met him when he was the finance guy, and he come in and talk to you about, do you want this or that on your car? This is how we're going to finance your car. Today, Larry runs the place along with Eric. and his dad, Eric Day, and Larry's dad is Warren Henry. Warren's in, and they just make me and my family feel like home. When you walk in there, it's really a safe space for me, and I think you'll find that for yourself as well. So go to their store up in 151st and Biscayne is their headquarters store. Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, Lincoln, great, beautiful store up there. Great people. If you want an Audi, they've got a great Audi store up in Gainesville. Down in the Keys and Key West, they've got a store that sells all the great nameplates. And, of course, they've got their award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store in South Dayton, their award-winning Land Rover, Range Rover store in West Broward. All those stores have one thing in common. They're a great place to get the Warren Henry advantage. They treat you like family. If you need service, they'll make sure you get a service loaner if you need that. You can book one of those for the appointments. But remember, Warren Henry, they'll treat you like family. Go in there, get the Warren Henry advantage. Join me, my beautiful wife, my mom, my clients, my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Welcome back to the show. We're having a lot of fun today talking about some of the terms I like to use in business. I want to remind everybody to contact me, Jim Freed, founder of Sandstone Realty Advisors. I help families in real estate and private equity all across the globe. Reach out to me, give me a call, DM me. Let me help your transaction get to the top of the stack for submissions for my investors, my buyers, the lenders that I work with all across the country. And remember, whenever you call me, it's always all about you. And, now it's time for the bottom line. And what's the bottom line? The best term for all of this stuff, the best term for all of this stuff is positive self-talk. Business isn't easy. It's not easy at all. When you're looking to present yourself for your transactions or meet people, a lot of times you may not be feeling 100% on your game, on the ball. And what you need to do is you need to give yourself positive self-talk. I'm going to show one of my favorite things right here. I keep it in my wallet. It's a sign that says, "You are amazing." Because that's the truth. I am amazing. And so are you. So whenever you're not feeling 100%, you really got to make a pitch. Just pull out your card that says that you're amazing and know that you are. And remind yourself to give you the positive self-talk. And if you need more positive self-talk, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to tell you what a tremendous person you are. And if you missed any of the things we talked about on today's show or any of our former or prior episodes, look on our social feeds on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. You can look for at Freed on Business, at Jim Freed. You can head on over to our YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your audio, you're going to find us there. Check out all our past episodes. And I want to remind everybody that the person wants to do something, finds a way, the other finds an excuse. Now go out there, make it happen, talk to yourself in a positive way. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. In a positive way, the rest of the show is yours, Miami Podcast Studios. Take it away.